Well, so you have been trying, you have been eating clean or at least trying to eat clean. You have been moving your body when life allows. You cut back on the late night snacks, the processed stuff, the things that usually make you bloat. And yet, you wake up this morning and the scale says something that doesn't add up. Well, it's not a small fluctuation. It feels heavy, sudden, and completely unfair. Your ankles seem puffy, your face looks softer, your rings aren't moving. I mean, you cannot just take out your rings out of your finger, which were absolutely normal. Now, most people will tell you that it's just a water weight. Some might even say you are eating too much, moving too little. But I want to tell you something that rarely gets said in mainstream health spaces. Something that Ayurveda, the world's oldest living medical system, has been teaching for thousands of years. Your body isn't just holding water in this case. Your body's inner rivers are backed up. Yes, I'm going to explain what these inner rivers are in a while. And unless you understand those inner rivers and what blocks them, no amount of calorie counting or willpower will ever feel like enough. Today, we are going to talk about those hidden rivers. They are called Strotas in Ayurveda, channels. They hold the key to why some people gain weight suddenly for no obvious apparent reason, and why weight won't budge until those rivers start flowing again or your channels get cleared. Well, the body is a living river system. Yes, you heard it right. Long before wellness medicine mapped the lymphatic system, the Ayurvedic scholars described the human body as a network of channels, thousands upon thousands of them spread across your body. They called these channels the Strotas. The word itself means to flow or to leak. And honestly, that's a beautiful description because a healthy channel isn't a rigid pipe. It's a porous living stream that carries nutrients in and waste out 24 hours a day. Now, some of these channels we can see like blood vessels, then lymph ducts, most of lymph ducts, but most are far more subtle. They are the microscopic spaces between cells, the fine tubules that carry fluid, fat molecules, water, and even thought energy depending on the category. In Ayurveda, they are grouped by function, like Ras, Vas, Sotras carry plasma and lymph, which is your body's inner ocean. Medva Sotras handle fat tissue, and Ambuva Sotra regulate your water balance. Whereas Swedva Strotas channel your sweat, and the Mutrava Strotas actually manage your urine. So there are channels for digestion, channels for the mind, channels for reproductive health, and the list is quite vast actually. But the principle is simple. When these channels are open, you feel light, clean, and energetic. Your weight stabilizes without a fight. But when they clog or get blocked, when the flow stops, the entire system backs up. And the first place that backup shows up for many people, it's on the scale, but it's not fat, not yet. Well, what is that sudden weight then that isn't fat? Well, here's the thing that changes everything. The kind of the weight gain I'm talking about, this kind of appears in days, not months. It's rarely a new fat. Well, real adipose tissue takes time to build, weeks of consistent surplus. But what is this then? Well, this is a trapped fluid, metabolic debris, and something Ayurveda calls as ama, the metabolic toxic. Ama is a word you will hear often if you dive into the Ayurvedic wisdom. It's a sticky, heavy, toxic residue that forms when your digestive fire, your Agni, is too weak to fully break down your food. So instead of creating clear, nourishing plasma, your body produces this half-digested sludge. It's cold, it's sticky, it's sluggish, and it doesn't stay politely in the gut. The ama slowly leaks through the intestinal wall and into the rasvahastrothras, which is basically the main fluid channels of the body, right? So once inside, it coats the channel's wall like sludge in an old pipe. And the fluids that should be running clear becomes thick and sticky. So waste products that should be leaving through sweat, urine and breath get trapped in the spaces between your cells. They attract water, they trigger low-grade inflammation, and the result is a sudden, tangible heaviness, a body that feels basically swollen, boggy, and deeply unfamiliar. Basically, you feel unhealthy. This isn't about calories. This is about stagnation. And the triggers of this stagnation, we need to find out. Well, they are woven into the fabric of your modern life. So the question is how modern life clogs your inner rivers or your strotas. So when you read the ancient Ayurvedic text, they list the causes of strota blockage with unsettling clarity. And I remember the first time I saw that list, I thought that isn't ancient. This is like a normal Tuesday, right? Or normal times. The first cause is your weak digestion, born from eating when you're not truly hungry, eating while stressed or distracted, or consuming foods that are cold, heavy, and highly processed. And last but not least, it's not compatible for your dosha constitution. So Ayurveda says that cold is especially damaging. That iced coffee on an empty stomach, that late night salad straight from the fridge, and they basically douse your digestive fire and turn the healthy food into armor, right? The second cause is lack of movement, but not in the way you might think. Your lymphatic system, the modern equivalent of many Rasvahastotras, has no heart, no pump system. It's not a circulatory system. It relies entirely on muscle contractions to push fluid along. So when you sit for hours without moving your calves, your thighs, your belly, they become stagnant pools. The fluid sits there and so does the weight. The third cause is something that sounds strange at first but makes perfect sense here. And you'll feel it, the suppression of your natural urges. Well, Ayurveda teaches that when you habitually suppress the urge to urinate or probably your bowel movements, you skip your toilet visits because you have to work, and maybe yawning or even emotional suppressions, like you want to cry but you don't cry. So you create a blockage for your drainage. So doors are shut but something wants to go out and waste has nowhere to go. Well, the fourth cause is the chronic stress and broken sleep. The cortisol, the stress hormone, directly disrupts how your kidneys handle sodium and water. So it inflames the gut lining, making that armor leakage even worse. And sleep, sleep is when your brain's own waste clearance system, the lymphatic system, does its work. So that system was only discovered by modern science in 2012. Well, but Ayurveda knew for millennia that the body drains during rest, right? So without deep sleep, even the brain's channels become congested. So when these forces combine, and for most of us they do actually, your inner rivers slow to crawl. They are not able to clear itself. The scale jumps, the puffiness steps in, and it settles. So, and you are left feeling betrayed by your own body, when really your body is doing its best with a backed up drainage system. Well, here's the point that I want to make, that modern science is catching up to the ancient wisdom now. Now, if you're sitting, they are thinking, this sounds interesting, but is it a real science? So, well, I hear you. And here's a beautiful thing. The lymphatic system, which transport fluid and immune cells, was ignored for I think, most of the Western medical history. But in the last decade, research has absolutely exploded. In 2018, a landmark study published in the journal Nature found that when lymphatic vessels are dysfunctional, the fat deposition increases and weight gain accelerates. Not because more calories were consumed, but because the body's drainage system is broken. Researchers now talk about lymphatic insufficiency as a driver of obesity, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction and syndrome. Well, your tissues can swell, your fat cells become inflamed, the body holds onto fluid as if it's under siege. This is the modern scientific language for what Ayurveda called Strotarodha, means blockage of your strotas, your channels. And Ayurveda has been talking about it for thousands of years, right? The strotas are not a metaphor, they are a physiological reality we are only beginning to map with the Western tools now. And the solution, as the ancient always taught, is not to starve the body. It is actually to reopen the channels. So how do we unblock our channels? I'm going to give you a map. It's not a protocol, just a map. So we now get to the most important question. How do we actually unblock these channels? So I'm not going to give you a rigid step-by-step protocol that you have to follow perfectly. That's not how healing works, and I do understand it's also a video. So obviously, I'm not your therapist right now. So honestly, it's not how I teach, but I do want to give you something here, a clear conceptual map of the tools that have been used for thousands of years and are now being validated in labs. The first tool is your movement, but the right kind of movement. We are talking about therapeutic postures, yogic postures that physically squeeze and release the major fluid highways of the body. Gentle twists that wring out the abdominal organs and the deep lymphatic vessels. Supported inversions like legs up the wall or Vipreet Karani or shoulder stand or the headstand if you can manage it, that use gravity to drain stagnant fluid from the lower body back towards the kidney. Even simple rhythmic contraction of the calves, often called as a second heart, can act as a powerful pump for the lymphatic system. Well, this is not exercise for weight loss. This is movement for drainage. The second tool is your breath. There are specific pranayama techniques that create pressure changes in the chest and abdomen, massaging the deeper strotas and igniting the digestive fire, like Kapalbhati, the shining skull breath, right? It uses rapid active exhalations to flush the rasvastrotas and awaken heat. Bhastrika's, the bellows breath, stokes Agni and moves the stagnant energy like the gust of a wind through a blocked tunnel. Even a simple, slow, lengthened exhalation through the nose triggers the vagus nerve and shifts the entire nervous system into the state where healing and drainage naturally happen. So breath is not just air, it's a pump, a massage, and a fire starter or trigger all at once, I would say. It's amazing. The third tool is the touch, specifically your marma points, which we also know as acupressure points. These are vital energy points in the body that, when gently pressed, can unlock specific strotas and channels and direct fluid towards its proper exit. Well, there's a point just below the navel that governs water metabolism, a point behind the knee that influences lower body lymph flow, and a point at the inner ankle that relates to the pelvic organs and elimination. So touching these points with awareness is like opening small gates along a river bank. It's simple, but still profound and highly effective. And the fourth tool is warmth, the internal warmth. Heat is very important. Through that, we drink and how we eat. So warm water with fresh ginger first thing in the morning. Well, herbal teas made from cumin, coriander, and fennel, which is a classic Ayurveda combination that gently stokes Agni and helps liquefy ama so it can be carried out of the channels. And definitely avoiding ice cold drinks. So eating warm cooked foods that are easy to digest, especially at night when your digestive fire is slow. These aren't expensive supplements or extreme detoxes. They are just ways of living that treat your body like a flowing river, not a machine you can bully into submission. Okay? So none of these tools require perfection. These can be included as a simple habits, right? They require understanding. They require you to start seeing your body not as something that's betraying you, but as a living fluid system that's been waiting for the right kind of attention. So let's create a body that flows again. Well, the sudden weight that frightened you this morning is not sudden. That heaviness and puffiness is not a life sentence. It's a message. Your body's hidden rivers or your strotas are asking for your attention. It's not a shame. Not another punishing diet. Just return to your flow. Go to the basics. So when you begin to eat in a way that supports your digestive fire rather than drowning it, the ama production slows down. When you move your body in ways that rhythmically squeeze and release the channels, the stagnation begins to clear. When you breathe deeply with intention, you massage your inner rivers and strotas from the inside. And when you rest properly, the channels automatically drains. And when you touch the right points with gentle awareness, you remind your body of its own ancient intelligent design, a design that already knows how to heal. Now, I want to say something to those of you who are watching this and feeling that similar ache, that frustration of dealing with something that feels bigger than just water weight of few bed nights. Well, maybe you have been managing a chronic health issue for years. Maybe your digestion has never been quite right. Maybe your weight fluctuates widely, your energy crashes, your sleep is broken, and you have seen practitioners after practitioners without getting a solid answer. If that's you, I want you to know that I do work with people one-on-one basis. I mean, I offer holistic health consultations where I take a deep, personalized look at your specific health picture, your symptoms, your history, your patterns, and I create the customized holistic healing program for you using the tools of yoga therapy and Ayurvedic holistic living. Well, it's not a generic protocol, something built for your body, for your life, for your channels, for your mind and your body. If that speaks to you, the details are in the description below. I'm dropping the link out there. I'll be honored to walk with you on that path from nowhere. Well, it came from channels that forgot how to flow, and the path forward isn't a fight, it's remembering. Let's find that flow together. I'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, then do not forget to like and share, and also subscribe my channel for future notifications whenever I'll drop such informative videos on yoga therapy, Kundalini yoga, and related topics. So I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.